Mit Holz verbinden wir
Since ancient times, wood has been a versatile raw material. Shrubs and trees are by far the oldest materials still being utilized. Buildings and objects made from wood survive for many hundreds of years, and often the patina of age makes them all the more appealing. However, wood is also a living environment for animals, which in our terminology are called xylophagous insects. The most common cohabitant in our timber is the pesky woodworm, an unwelcome guest with bad habits.
Beispielsweise ein Holzschädlingsbefall wird oft erst nach Jahren für uns sichtbar.
Pest infestation in wood often can only be seen years after it has started. One notices it when wood dust or shavings appear. Sometimes we can even hear chewing sounds. Some wood-eating insects make irritating noises that sound like scratching. It sounds something like this.
Bei Holzinsekten sieht man auch die charakteristischen Ausfluglöcher.
Some of these insects have the characteristic of leaving exit holes. In the case of termites or the woodworm, they are small, round holes. The house longhorn beetle makes oval-shaped, slightly frayed holes about 1 to 3 centimeters in diameter.
Ungefähr 1 bis 3 Zentimeter haben.
lange Zeit
For a very long time, pests were mainly combated with chemicals. The approach closest to nature and most sustainable involves making the wood environment uninhabitable for any pest through the application of elevated temperature. This applies to textiles as well as furniture, picture frames, or art objects. An efficient and environmentally friendly means of combating pests is the mobile thermal chamber.
Die Insekten sterben bei einer Temperatur zwischen 8
Depending on the species, insects die off when temperatures reach between 48 and 55 degrees Celsius. This means that once the object has attained the temperature, all the xylophagous insects in all stages of development, and this is very important, from the egg to the larva to the grown insect, are killed off. There is no time-delayed reaction. They are all dead immediately, and the overall effect can immediately be controlled. For insects, cultural treasures are simply a living space providing sustenance. The destructive force of these unwelcome residents was underestimated for a very long time, and often more damage than good was wrought on many of these objects through the large-scale use of chemicals.
Das Grundprinzip einer Wärmebehandlung besteht darin, dass die Insekten durch die erhöhte
The basic principle of the heat treatment is that through the rise in temperature, the insects contract fever and thereby are physiologically so damaged that it causes their proteins to congeal, completely killing them off.
und dadurch die Insekten vollkommen abgetötet werden.
Bei Holzbauten dauert es
In wooden structures, it takes longer to discover the extent of the damage. Even entire beams have crumbled and broken due to pest infestation. The warm air treatment can equally be applied to entire houses. This is a complex process extending over several days. In order to achieve uniform temperatures in the center of the wooden beams, it is necessary to induce the heat from both inside and outside. In addition, the entire building is wrapped up.
Das künstliche Klima wird über den ganzen
This artificially warm climate is evenly distributed throughout the building and measured to a high level of accuracy. Heat is generated with propane gas-driven heaters that are controlled and monitored by computer programs. The call for the hot pest controller can now be heard from everywhere.
Private Hausbesitzer und Sammler, aber auch Institutionen wie Museen.
It comes from private homeowners, collectors, as well as institutions, such as museums and churches. Among our clients are the Salzburg Freilichtmuseum and the Aachener Cathedral in Germany. Internationally, our clients include the Museum of London, the Tate Modern Gallery, as well as the British Museum.
Modern und British Museum.
Niemand ist vor Schädlingen sicher.
No one is safe from pests, and often it is negligence or bad habits that lead to xylophagous pests taking hold.
Das beste Beispiel, zum Beispiel bei den Holzinsekten, ist, dass wir manchmal Brennholz.
One of the best examples of how we contribute to this problem is that we often bring firewood into the apartment or house. Don't use it immediately or burn it in the fireplace, but instead use it as decoration under or around the oven, and leaving it there for years. This decorative wood is often the cause of infestation by xylophagous insects in one's home.
Einen Insektenbefall im eigenen Haus.
Even our most common household pest in food and clothing, the moth, has no defense against the thermal insect eradication method.